going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're gonna do this week in Geek. It is December 1st. Christoph, why don't you take us off on what you want to talk about for this week?
Well, I just want to start about what happened over the weekend. Nate Robinson got himself knocked out.
Horribly knocked out.
As Snoop Dogg says, you can't play boxing. You can't. I just think his trainers, they didn't really put him in the ring against somebody. They just taught him how to punch. But boxing is not about punching. Boxing is about ducking, weaving, and then counteracting. But man, we was at a family member's house, and the shock, the the laughter that ensued after the first knockdown when he got hit in the back of the head, and then the second one when he fell on his face, and he would get back up. My cousin was like, "It's over. He's gonna get knocked out in about a couple seconds." Next thing we know, do, bink, and
Yeah,
the internet is one place that does not fail because I went on Twitter right away and they're already making memes and there's some great ones and
so funny these memes, dude.
oh my gosh, these are never gonna end. And some of it was like Nate Robinson should go into Z-Quil or serotonin, so you can knock out like me type shit. Like I was like, no, that's bad. That's
Instead of
bad.
a
That's
Head and
bad.
Shoulders sponsorship, you get the Z-Quil.
Gosh, getting away from that. I still want someone to. I'm not gonna say that. Going on to other news, G4 TV is back, and it's something that it was dear to my heart when I was a child because that used to be the YouTube how to find
Uh
out
huh.
about cheat codes about. There was the hidden number in God of War that you could call, and Kratos was actually answering it. And so I'm glad G4 TV's back, and I just hope to see more of them come back on because I feel like they were IGN before IGN was IGN. So Internet Gaming News, I believe that's what IGN stands for, and G4 TV was that because it was gamers for television or games for TV, and they used to always have the little secrets, and I used to love that show a lot.
Yeah,
Or
Attack. I used to
the
watch
series.
Attack of the Show on the daily.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I miss that so much.
How,
But
how is it like back on cable or is it the
I,
streaming or
I,
what? I have
I,
no
I,
idea how this
I have
is.
no idea. I
Hmm.
think it's streaming only, but that kind of defeats the purpose of G4 TV. But maybe now they're just calling G4 Games for whomever.
Yeah. Uh. Yeah. I mean, I loved G4 as a kid. I mean, it really sculpted the geek aspect of.
The news real aspect of like, oh,
Yeah.
there's more people interested in this, not just me.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, what, probably like 12, 13 when G4 is coming out, and seeing adults into the game industry made me like, oh, games are not just for kids. Like,
Hmm.
made me feel being a nerd and other news, well, I guess same with the TV news, kind of not really. Marvel got the rights for Daredevil back, the TV rights for Daredevil, so I just don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna put Daredevil on Disney Plus. I really don't think so. I can't see them putting a rated R content on a subscription mainly made for kids. I don't know. It would be cool to put him in a movie because the actor, I forgot his name, but he's a very Charlie Cox. He is a very good, a
Hmm.
very well sculpted Daredevil character.
I
And
mean,
I guess
even without Charlie Cox, I'd love to see D'Onofrio as Kingpin in a Spider-Man
yes,
movie or something.
yes. Oh
That
yes,
would be even
please.
better. Like
He's the only
it's not
kingpin
just
from now on.
Daredevil. It's also
Yeah,
getting Kingpin and
yeah.
those things like that.
Even the Electra in Daredevil was pretty good. Like
Hmm.
it
Oh,
was it was
better than
overall.
what's her name
Yes.
back in the day?
Jennifer Gardner,
Gardner. Yeah.
yeah. I still love those movies. I know those movies get shit for, and I know that like Ben Affleck hated those doing that movie. I still thought it was a good
I
Daredevil. The
mean,
second one was kind of
if we're
no, not the second one,
talking,
the Electra movie,
yeah, if
but
we're
just
talking pre MCU Marvel movies,
yes,
then
yes,
yeah,
yes,
those weren't that
yeah.
bad compared to some of the other ones. Yeah.
Let's not talk about the first Hulk movie. Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about with movies is Peter Dinklage could star in the Toxic Avenger reboot. I know you don't know who the Toxic Avenger is. I feel
No,
it's
that's
like a
like
campy kind of comedy horror thing from back in the '80s. I think is '70s, '80s. But I'm down for whatever Peter Dinklage does. I'll watch it.
Yeah, he's a great actor. So he's good in anything. His demeanor just brings his stature out. He was great in Game of Thrones. That was one of the best characters, one of the best. In related news, I tried out the PS5.
Yes, my cousin and you won't shut up about it.
It's not that I won't shut up about it. It's the damn controller that I won't shut up about. Like the dual feed sense, it is. I think it's going to change the way gaming is played. Kind of makes me just want to get a dual 5 for my PC, really, just to have that feedback controller, really. But like it was something that was different. Like I didn't play anything else except for Cold War in it, but the guns felt different, and you feel like you actually have to squeeze the trigger instead of just being able to quick fire and stuff like that. But so it's kind of, I feel like there is a little slight disadvantage for people who are playing against people who have PS5 because they don't have to, you don't have to actually squeeze the trigger. On PS4 and Xbox, you could just tap the trigger and then the gun would shoot. I feel like that's the only disadvantage really that someone could have over it. Because I felt myself wanting to shoot, but I'm used to just tapping the trigger and not used to holding down the trigger like that. So it's kind of, I had to get used to that again. Like especially when I was quick scoping, I was just like, oh, I can't just quickly tap the trigger. I gotta hold on to that so you can feel it, and you feel the each gun kick differently, each vibration, because it's not in the analog sticks. The vibration is different. It is actually in the trigger, so you feel each kick back. You feel the recoil of each gun, and I feel like that is something that's was missing. It's missing in video games in general, like that immersive feeling. That's what VR is so awesome, and I don't know what AR is supposed to be, but I feel like that's gonna be the next thing. But the size of the fucking PS5 is something. I thought it was just for fun, for the memes. No. I have a mid-sized tower computer, and I think the PS5 is as big as my fucking tower.
Yeah, that's insane.
I can't even. I don't even think I could fit it on screen. Like it's legit the size of my torso, and it's like, and honestly, the UI, the user interface of the PS5 it's kind of fucking complicated. Like it is. It took me a while to learn how to close out the game because the game kind of crashed a couple times. But we're keeping that secret from Sony and Call of Duty. But I feel like just the user AI was just a little confusing. Obviously, I was first time using it, so I wasn't used to it. But I was just like, how's this possible? Oh, the other thing too that I don't know how I don't know how I feel about it just yet. The controllers, you don't need a mic, so you can speak to your controller directly. People can hear you, but you can also hear people talking from your controller. So it's kind of weird. There is a mute button on the controller, but I just feel like, what if you don't have that mute one day and you're farting or making a bad conversation that someone you don't want to hear? You know what I mean? So it's like you're rubbing one off while playing Call of Duty and shit like that. Like you just never know how tricky that is. And I saw something, I couldn't confirm it because he didn't get any achievements yet. If you get an achievement, it is supposed to copy audio as well. You know how on PS4 you take a screenshot of whatever you're doing when you get that achievement? Now it's supposed to get like a small little clip of audio from the controller from you. So you're like, oh fuck yeah, it's gonna record. Oh fuck yeah, and I just don't know if that's confirmed or not. I don't know how I feel about that.
That's just
weird, right?
That's odd.
Because what if you share? Well, who shares trophies? But you know what I mean. Like, it's just
I don't know who. I mean, if it took a little, I think it should take a video. Does it take a video clip now of when you got it?
Like I think it's a small video clip, it's like a GIF kind of, or a photo. It's one of those. But then I know your audio voice gets screenshot too, and I'm just like, ew.
I mean, if it was a video clip, that would make more sense to share it because it's like you did this crazy thing.
What? Yeah, or some bullshit. Like,
all right.
Is this where we put up the disclaimer?
Is this it? Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Okay. So, this week's Mandalorian, Chapter 13. I mean, it's so much to unpack.
Where do we begin?
Now, I saw something where it was like, people who watched all the Clone Wars and Rebels watching it and knowing about the Mandalores, and it was like yay, and then it's like me who's just sitting here and having fun learning about the Mandalorians, and it's like we have both of that. We have you who's watched everything, you know all of it, and me who's like kind of just learning it from the first time, but I know enough from the Clone Wars. I know enough from Rebels and
from me telling you.
Well, that and just
the research that you
reading and research of Star Wars. But first we come out with Ahsoka. Finally, after a freaking week, you have to give us that 1 week of.
I have one complaint about her, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, but it's very micro. It was amazing. The lightsabers looked amazing. Beautiful. Everything looked great. I don't know what was CG on her, like on her face. I don't know if it was all cosmetics or
it was all cosmetics. It was all headdress. The whole headdress was all cosmetics. That's why I only have one issue with it, and I guess I'll talk about that right now. In Rebels, that's the beautiful thing about Clone Wars, because you see Ahsoka grow up. You see her headdress get longer and bigger, because that's the type of people that she is. I believe it's Tonga's. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it's her hairdress gets bigger and bigger. That's the only thing I'm like, because in Rebels her horns are longer. Mandalorian, this is supposed to take place before.
Well,
from between Rebels, right? Or is it supposed to be before Rebels?
It could be. I'm reading
that
are saying it's before the final of Rebels.
Okay. Oh, just the Rebel, just the final Rebels.
Yes, final of Rebels. Okay. It's before that sometime. It's very hard to place these things in the timeline. I mean, there's people out there who know the timeline and exactly when things happen.
That still doesn't defer my complaint, because even in Rebels she still has the long horns. It's not as in the very last episode they were super pointy, stuff like that, but it needed to be a little bit longer. She still had her juvenile headdress. That's the only complaint I had about it. But other than that, and I also read that it was hard to do that because it was all prosthetic. So that's why I'm fine with it. It was creative decision to do that because of the weight of it and her movement and the the stunt devil, the stunts and all that. I cannot speak right now because I'm so excited. all the stunts, it wouldn't look right and it didn't feel right. That's why sometimes when it turned, it looked like it had creases inside of it, and I was like, you know what, I'm okay with that because the thing wouldn't move, because in the show you're not used to it being alive or her headdress. So
it had wrinkles along the side, and I was like, that's a little weird, but I mean, I guess it is her kind of her skin, so
skin, hair,
it would move so with her shoulders and everything like that.
I was fine with it. They got the thing in the back, right? Because it was kind of fat in the back. And I was like, all right, yeah, what?
This is what I want to talk to you about. We get to finally hear the child's name. Baby Yoda, the child.
The conversation that they had within the Force was awesome.
Grogu, yes.
I like that.
My girlfriend goes, do you think that they're talking? I was like, oh, they're definitely talking. They're talking through the Force. Yes, they're definitely talking. And we get a pretty hefty backstory on why Grogu is the way Grogu is and being kidnapped. And I mean, his first, I believe they say he's 50-something.
50-something, yeah.
50-something. That's like in season 1 they go through that he's 50-something.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, his first 50-something years of life have been pretty terrible.
Hectic. And he's only still a child for being 50 years old. It was just crazy.
Yeah, because I believe Yoda, when he died, was
3,000 or something like that. It was super old.
Was it thousands? I thought it was like 500 years old.
Or something like 500 or 800, something like that.
Yeah, and then it's just
to me
now he's being hunted. But do you think now? Here's where the theories are going to start to come in. Do you think she won't train Yoda because I understand that she won't train him because he's too attached to Mando, which now I feel like it's weird that we call Mando and
I know his name is like Din Djarin or something like that. I don't know. It's like Din Djarin.
Din Djarin. Yeah, Din Djarin. See, it's like I can't remember that, but I know it's Grogu. Like,
Grogu, I'm never going to say the child ever again.
And obviously, Mando won't be the only Mando moving
he
forward.
hasn't so far. We've seen the true Mandalorians, because we
Yes.
find out that he's from the Watch, which is the Death Watch, is the actual real name. They were
Yeah.
a group of Mandalorians that wanted to go with the old way of Mandalorian, which were soldiers, and that's kind of why now they have that cult of do not take off your helmet, and because we're all
Hmm.
Mandalorians. I
Hmm.
think that's why he came like that, and I'm glad we saw the true Mandalorians with Bo-Katan. So we just got
Yeah.
to see. Hopefully, we
But
see
do you
more.
think, from what I got from that, is that she's afraid to train Grogu because he could turn Sith.
I don't think she's a. I don't think it's that necessarily. I feel like she's seen this anger before, this type of fear before, in Anakin, and she doesn't want to be the one
Mhm.
responsible for Grogu to go to dark side.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all
So that's pretty much what I was saying. Yeah.
yeah. But I think it's also because she can't train somebody because Ahsoka technically is still a Padawan. She's not a Jedi Knight. She's not a Jedi Master. So she doesn't know how to train somebody to that extent. That's
Hmm.
why even in Rebels, she never trained Ezra. She
Yeah.
helps Ezra find somebody else to get trained by, and that was Keenan or whatever his last name was. But that was that. She's not able to train because she herself does not know how to. It's not that she
Yeah.
can't; she just doesn't know how to. And instead of saying I don't know how to, because all Jedis are supposed to be all knowing, she was just like, hey, you got to do this and that. And which I think I gotta rewatch Rebels because I think the place she told them to go to is the temple that they went to in Rebels. But I gotta go back and check that out. Or it could be even the one that we go to in Fallen Order.
That's
But
what I was gonna say. I think it might be the one in the Fallen Order. But
Fallen Order,
the
nice.
temple in the Fallen Order was to get your kyber for your lightsaber.
Ah, that's
So
true.
I don't think it is the same one from Fallen Order, but I'm not positive. It could
Yeah,
be. But
and then
we already talked about that. Is that we already know how this show works, and we will
yeah.
not even see that temple
Oh
until at
no,
least the end of the season.
second to last, if anything.
Maybe, but
And
I
this
already
might
have this feeling. I already have like this vision in my mind of what the the end of this season looks like, and it's Mando putting Grogu on the top of that temple, and then cut to black. We'll see you next season.
I feel like
I
that's gonna
have
no.
this.
I feel like that's the second to last episode because Grogu needs to go on that journey by himself. So he goes in the temple, and then outside the temple, it's Gideon versus Mando, head to head black saber
Ooh.
versus staff, a Biscar staff. So
Now I
Beskar
don't
staff.
know this. Okay, so obviously, maybe we learned this before in something else, but
No, I know what you're
Beskar
gonna say. This is news to me
Beskar
too.
is immune to saber.
Apparently, I was kind of confused at first, but I was like, you know what? That actually makes sense because that's why Beskar steel is so rare and so lucrative because it
Hmm.
can stop sabers. Maybe that's
Now
why the first Mandalorian Jedi was such a badass. So
now I don't know if I've heard theories or what, but the dark saber could possibly cut through Beskar.
I would maybe so because the first Mandalorian Jedi did create that black saber. So maybe
Maybe he
we
made
just
it
gotta
so
wait and
like
see.
he could be struck down.
Yeah,
Make
by
the weapon
himself
that can destroy me if I get too strong,
and hold it.
kind
Yeah,
of thing.
makes sense. Or if
Do
anyone else tried to come up to me, I can.
Can't remember if we've discussed this before or not. But obviously when I'm done watching the Mandalorian, it's an immediate text to you. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But do we think the Beskar staff will be used to be melted down and made into something for him, or like he'll find a new armorer? As a matter of fact, I think the old armorer is still around somewhere. She lived,
Nah, nah. I
or
feel
is it
like
going to be a new weapon?
I feel like it's a new weapon. I feel like he's gonna probably rig it so it's retractable, but
Mm.
that's about it. Because I can't see him baby one hand staff and another looking like Gandalf. I can't see
But
that.
I mean, it could be used like that, just like almost lightsaber like fight
It's-
when
yeah,
because it's
that's the
it's immune to it.
That's why I'm saying a retractable, so you could just pop it up out of nowhere and just like.
That'd be interesting. I want to know. I don't think we'll ever see this staff again for some reason, just because it's just the way it is with the
Collection.
show. But I'd like to see. I'm hoping to see what's done with that staff. It's one of those small things, but I want to know what's going on with it.
I also read that they even brought lore from Knights of the Old Republic. The people that they save, I guess, apparently is somebody in within the video game of Knight of the Old
Oh
Republic.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
that was
I
cool.
can't remember his name, but I understand.
Neither can I.
I
Yeah, but
remember that
I,
it's
I, I play those
people
games, but I
want it so
can't
much.
remember those games. I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
probably go back and now play it on PC since
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't have the
You can
time
get it
for
on
it.
Steam. It was on sale on
Yeah,
Black
that's what I'm
Friday.
saying. Oh, but still, yeah, I just feel like that's really awesome. And like what a lot of people don't. It's not it's a spoiler. Who cares? It's spoilers. If you haven't watched Clone Wars, I'm telling you to go watch it, because the lightsaber she gets from Anakin, she throws away essentially, and these new sabers that she got from a Inquisitor, which is one of Darth Vader's like henchmen, which was fucking awesome. And she grabbed the red kyber crystals and sucked the darkness out of, or the dark side out of the crystals, and that's why they're white. That's why she's not a Jedi nor a Sith. And I was really waiting for her to be like, "I am no Jedi," because she says that shit in fucking Clone Wars, and it gives you the chills. It's like, uh, I I kind of thought for some reason the voice actor Ashley was of Ahsoka from Clone Wars was going to dub over her voice, but
Oh,
I'm kind of glad they didn't. You know what I mean? Her
there
because
there was an exchange. I don't know if you saw that
yeah,
between
yeah,
Rosario Dawson and her on
yeah. I was
Instagram.
very happy about that. I was
Yeah,
like, thank you, Ahsoka. You ladies honestly changed like because I feel like the Clone Wars was like now that I look back at it, Clone Wars is not really about the Anakin story or even the Obi-Wan. It really shows you like the evilness of Darth Sidious and his plan of how detailed it was and the slowly destruction of the Jedi, but it shows you through the eyes of a young Padawan. And I feel like the way Dave Filoni did this, like, mwah. Did you
yeah.
notice that he wrote it and directed this episode
Hmm.
because he wanted his girl to be
He's
on the
like,
main
no,
stage?
no, this is mine. This is
This is my
mine.
creation, my
Yeah.
fucking creation, and
Uh,
I just think it was well done.
I, I've seen.
Even the fight scenes, they weren't as acrobatic as I was hoping for. Obviously, you can't really do that in live action, but it was still phenomenal. It was
Yeah.
just
I even saw something that there's something about Ahsoka in like a Star Wars encyclopedia from years ago that says
oh,
that she, with the Force, she has this ability to see through fog and mist
oh,
and better have vision for that kind of thing. And they kind of use that in these fights because it's so foggy and misty. Um, I totally skipped over this and I was totally excited for it. The hired gun that is in this village, the main guard
yeah.
is Kyle Reese from the first Terminator movie.
Oh, really?
Essentially being
Oh, yeah, yeah. I did read that. I did read that.
John's
Yeah.
dad, because John Reese and Sarah Connor obviously hook up in that movie and make uh, John Connor. Uh, so that was crazy. I thought that was insane. But then we
That
get
was pretty
towards
cool.
the end, and Thrawn.
Yes.
We got the
The name.
another huge name drop.
A huge
I
name
honestly didn't even know of Thrawn after I had to like kind of look it up, and I kind of have to read a little bit because of
Watch Clone Wars, you wouldn't know, or
I
Rebels,
know
you
I
wouldn't
did
know.
Rebels and all that stuff, but I have to do a little reading. So but I knew Thrawn because he was like some of the first actual like novels that they wrote
Yes.
about Star
Yeah.
Wars was about
Yeah.
Thrawn. So
Mhm.
that's how I knew about Thrawn. Then I had to look it up, and then I saw that Thrawn is Ezra, and that kind of connects it more to
Mhm.
Rebels.
Which is
Um,
awesome.
so that's supposedly exciting. I don't really
Yeah.
know.
Thrawn it was before Grand Admiral Tarkin, so think of it like that. Is this
Hmm.
predecessor to Tarkin, which is if he had a predecessor, what the fuck is Thrawn? And Thrawn was so far has been and always was a very chess player type of military man that was
Hmm.
always two steps ahead of the good guys, and that's what made him very, very deadly and very scary. Because even in Rebels, they persona him a very good character, very well demeanor, very calm, collective, but can always capture the bad guy, can always sniff out the bull in the plots or the trying to hide behind them. And this just gives me hope of like I'm just curious if this is after Rebels because Ezra and Thrawn get shot into the like the other side of the galaxy in hyperspace, and we have no idea what happened to them. I don't know if this is supposed to be because if it does, that's why it doesn't make sense. Like if this episode isn't before the final, like how is she looking for Thrawn? And then if it isn't, so when I first saw this episode and she said Thrawn, my immediate jump was like, oh, okay, this is actually before Rebels because they don't find, yeah, they don't meet up at Ahsoka until they actually know about Thrawn. So Ahsoka isn't even in Rebels till maybe like the second half of the whole season, the whole series. I think there's only 4 seasons anyway, so she's only in the last two. And like, so that's where I'm like, does it intersect there, or is it afterwards when Thrawn gets shot into the other side of the galaxy and she's looking for Ezra and Thrawn because she's heard Thrawn is back. So I'm just trying to figure out the fucking timeline of this, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless.
Yeah, and then
I'm just sad.
to the
Yeah. The only thing
next.
that I'm like worried about is once again because we know how these things work. Ahsoka might have another cameo in another episode, but I don't think we're
I'm
ever going to see
hoping so,
her.
but I don't think we will. Sadly,
No, maybe
there's
one more
talks of a
episode, but
standalones. I mean, after the Mandalorian and what I'm seeing from WandaVision, hit me with as many fucking standalone Disney Plus
standalone,
shows you
yes.
want. I will
As
watch
long as
them
they're
at this
good.
point.
As
As
long
long
as
as
they're
they're good. We did talk about the Boba Fett and how we haven't seen Boba Fett since that first episode.
I don't think we will.
I think that well, we were talking about how there could be a standalone for Boba Fett. That's why we saw him. But we need you to just go back there, just talk to him for 5 seconds and figure out how he got out of that Sarlacc pit. And then once you figure that out,
we can
go ahead, have your own show. But
I still want
to. I honestly, I kind of have this feeling that Timothy Oliphant's character that was on that planet, I can't think of his actual name, will somehow get him a transmission saying we need your help again, and it's because Boba Fett's fucking shit up on that planet. And he goes back down there, and then he has to fight Boba Fett, and he wants his armor back, and all that stuff. So, hopefully, maybe. Who knows?
If that happens in the next episode, I'm going to be very like, wow, this dude called it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the next episode. We got a couple more episodes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is one... It could be, because it is one of those, like, space filler episodes kind of thing instead of actually continuing forward. We're not going, they're not direct course to the temple. We're not doing that. I can tell you that.
It's supposed to, but something's gonna happen.
Yeah. I got shot down again, and now I gotta go to this cave full of big spiders again.
Okay, what's the most impressive name drop that you would be like not expecting if they like said Luke Skywalker or Anakin or Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Okay,
like,
so well, this kind of goes
because they dropped Yoda, so
they did drop Yoda. I mean,
which makes me say Anakin is a failure because he didn't kill all the younglings, so he's not really that bad of a bad guy.
I mean, did he not kill all the younglings? Is that the whole point of it? I mean,
right?
Did look at like like something like we found out that all those younglings like. Well, fuck that. That means nothing anymore.
True.
Because
a Fallen Order, yeah.
A Fallen Order. I mean, Cal Kestis
Rebels.
all these people have all of a sudden popped up as.
He only killed as many as he could. How about that?
It could always be. There's clone theories out there that now there's other Jedis that are cloned and all stuff like this.
I want to know who the mother and father is of Grogu. Like.
Since now we now know he's not a clone of Yoda.
Which took my theory out. Now I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of banked on the clone theory after
A Palpatine and
the
stuff.
Palpatine and all that stuff. I mean, we're in that point that like in the point of the trilogies where like we could fucking Poe could show up one time.
Oh, that would be.
I mean, you could
Just the
even
Black
have.
X-wing. That's all you
Let's
gotta
have like
see.
a small hit, like let's have what was her name?
What's the dad's name that created the Death Star plans? Hearing his name would be kind of like,
That
oh,
would be crazy. But I mean, like, so. But what I wanted to get into after that is, she says, take him to the temple, and if a Jedi wants to train him, he will come. Who do we think this could be? Because I have who I want it to be, and I have who I want to almost bank on it right here and right now.
okay, who do you want it to be, and then what's your bank?
No, I mean my who I want it to be is my bank. If this isn't who it is, which I know it's a possibility it won't be, but it's just such a perfect combination that you hit there is Cal Kestis from the Fallen Order. I mean,
see, that would throw a big curveball because they're making a second Jedi Order. They're making a part two. What if it connects to the Mandalorian somehow?
I mean, I think that's too old. I think that because I believe
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Fallen Order's taking part a little bit before,
right after the
original, before New Hope. So like the second one be taking place inside the original trilogy. So he'd be a little bit older, but the actor who played Cal Kestis and did all the, I mean, that Cal Kestis does look like the actor that played Cal Kestis.
I think they did that on purpose.
They did that on purpose because I think they want this, or they want something of live action with him.
That would be interesting to see. I would be very impressed. I was thinking more so of a ghost of a Force Ghost, Jedi Master Force Ghost of Keenan, the Master of Ezra, but because you hear his voice in the end of I forgot the
Force Awakens.
No, Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
You hear his name, you hear Ezra's, you hear Ahsoka's. You heard those three in that voice, and I thought that was awesome. We were supposed to see them, but Disney.
So, but I don't know. My other, I don't want to go back on my Cal Kestis thing. I mean, that's who I want so bad.
Yeah, but that's on record.
I watch Shameless, which he's in, the guy who played Cal Kestis.
Yeah,
and great. I've seen the previews for this final season that they're doing, and he's jacked. I mean, super jacked. And it could be that he's getting super jacked so he could be on The Mandalorian. I don't know.
He played a good Joker on Gotham.
Yeah. But that, or I mean, I'm gonna throw it out there. I think my other theory of this is that they just write in this whole new Jedi. There's a Jedi we've never heard of before that's just been out there, just like Cal, just like Rey, just like Finn, if you really look into it, just like the kid who force grabbed the broom at the end of Last Jedi. There's all these force sensitive people. Maybe it's somebody completely new. Maybe it's a completely new Jedi we've never heard of before. A clone of a Jedi we have seen before.
What if it's Starkiller?
I'm down. I'll watch him do stuff too. I love the actor who played Starkiller as well.
Yeah. That's what like.
But from what I understand, those games aren't canon.
No, they weren't.
They're not, right?
I mean, they're adding stuff from Legends. Anyways, technically, or the Knights of the Old Republic is canon, not canon. So they're taking shit from there, adding it in.
I don't know, but I'm very interested to see who this Jedi is. But that's where the episode ended, and that's where this episode will end. Please, everybody, subscribe, like us on everything, do it all, please, and thank you. Bye.